We already know that Red Dead Redemption 2's Arthur Morgan is a hard man. He's a killer, a thief, and comfortable with a bunch of other jobs that are just as dirty.
I'll keep her in black, on your behalf.
But that doesn't necessarily make him a bad man. At least not the complete jerk that some folks painted him as after his debut in the second trailer. After spending some time with Arthur and talking to his creators at Rockstar North, it seems that despite his gruff exterior, Mr. Morgan has the potential to be one of this year's more compelling protagonists. In addition to being the Vanderlyn gang's chief enforcer and burliest muscle, seriously, we watched the guy deadlift a 5-point buck like it was nothing. Morgan is also Dutch's right hand when it comes to leading the crew. When he's not robbing trains or running from the law, he can be found providing the outlaws' camp with much-needed food or supplies. While he doesn't necessarily have to shoulder these burdens, when he does, he seems genuinely glad for the responsibility. He often finds himself the de facto mediator in disputes between gang members as well, that is, when he's not involved with them directly. And even then, he shows himself to be pretty reasonable. We saw that he knows when to put the solidarity of the camp ahead of his own pride, that sometimes you have to put family first. And Dutch's band of gunslingers, runaways, and outcasts is the closest thing to family that Arthur's ever known. At a young age, Arthur was brought under Dutch's wing, and while we don't know what led the boy to take up with a group of dangerous criminals, the years he spent riding alongside Dutch made him claim the outlaw life as his own. And his loyalty to the gang and their vision of a life outside the law makes him one of the few people Dutch really trusts. I'm interested to see these bonds tested, though, since the game appears to chronicle the fall and fracture of the Vanderlyn gang. How would a man like Arthur, one who will clearly do anything to protect the people he's adopted as his family, react when that family starts falling apart?
You gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
Part of that is, of course, up to you. Rockstar is focusing heavily on how we'll interact with the world. This includes spending time living and working with the gang, and the relationships that we'll forge with them. Arthur doesn't have to keep the camp fed or supplied, though he may earn an invite to a job or mission if he does, but if he just wants to be off on his own getting into trouble with the law, those choices will be recognized by the other gang members. We don't know if this will affect the outcome of the story, but how we interact with the other outlaws and civilians will provide important context for the set beats of Arthur's tale. Take this clip, for instance.
Where's our money?
If my Arthur spends very little time at camp, never talks to anyone, and always shoots first, that scene will mean something very different to me than to an Arthur who's invested a lot of time with the gang and is desperate to keep them safe. We're sure to see more of Arthur and the rest of Dutch's gang in the remaining months leading up to launch, but for now, have a look at what we thought of our exclusive first look at the game in action and how everything we learned fits into this most recent trailer. For all your other gunslinging needs, you're already in the right place here at IGN.